Selk'nam genocide. The Selk'nam genocide was the genocide of the Selk'nam people, one of three indigenous tribes populating the Tierra del Fuego in South America, from the second half of the 19th to the early 20th century. The genocide spanned a period of between 10 and 15 years. The Selk'nam, which had an estimated population of 4,000 people, saw their numbers reduced to 500. Background: the Selk'nam are one of three indigenous tribes who inhabited the northeastern part of the archipelago, with a population before the genocide estimated at between 3,000 and 4,000. They were known as the Oda people of the north by the Yagin Yamana. The Selk'nam had lived a semi-nomadic life of hunting and gathering in Isla Grande de Tierra del Fuego for thousands of years. The name of the island literally means Big Island of Land of the Fire, which is the name the early Spanish explorers gave it as they saw the smoke from Selk'nam bonfires. They lived in the northeast, with the Hosh people to their east on the Mitre Peninsula, and the Yagin people to the west and south in the central part of the main island and throughout the southern islands of the archipelago. According to one study, the Selk'nam were divided into the following groups: Parika located in the northern pampas, Herska located in the southern forests, Shankoyuka located in the mountains in front of Inutil Bay, alongside the Hosh. History: the last full-blooded Selk'nam, Angela Lloyd, died in 1974. They were one of the last Aboriginal groups in South America to be reached by Europeans. According to the 2010 United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO Atlas of the World's Languages in Danger, the Ona language, believed to be part of the Chonan family, is considered extinct, as the last speakers died in the 1980s. About 4,000 Selk'nam were alive in the mid-19th century. By 1930 this had been reduced to about 100. With the assimilation of many groups who later became Argentinians and Chileans, Selk'nam territory was conquered. The group's seemingly unusual ritual practices were frightening to many colonizers, which caused an unhealthy fear of their presence, and thereby offered a justification for their mass extermination. The natives were plied with alcohol, deported, raped, and exterminated with bounties paid to the most ruthless hunters. Martin Guesand, who visited the island towards the end of 1918, recounted in his writings that the hunters sent the skulls of the murdered Selk'nam to foreign anthropological museums, which was done in the name of science. German anthropologist Robert Lehmann-Nitsch published the first scholarly studies of the Selk'nam, although he was later criticized for having studied members of the Selk'nam people who had been abducted and were exhibited in circuses in conditions of de facto slavery. The Gold Rush, 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 Gold Rush. The Chilean expedition of Ramon Serrano Montaner in 1879. With this incentive, hundreds of foreign adventurers came to the island hoping to find long-awaited and distant lands, the initial support to produce auspicious fortunes. However, there was a rapid depletion of the metal. Among hunters of the indigenous people were Julius Popper, Ramon Lista, Alexander McLennan, a Mr. Bond, Alexander A. Cameron, Samuel Hislop, John McRae, and Mont E. Wales. Ranchers and farmers. The large ranchers tried to run off the Selk'nam, then began a campaign of extermination against them with the complicity of the Argentine and Chilean governments. Large companies paid sheep farmers or militia a bounty for each Selk'nam dead, which was confirmed on presentation of a pair of hands or ears, or later a complete skull. They were given more for the death of a woman than a man. In addition, missionaries disrupted their livelihood through forcible relocation and inadvertently brought with them deadly epidemics. Repression against the Selk'nam persisted into the early 20th century. Chile moved most of the Selk'nam in their territory to Dawson Island in the mid-1890s, confining them to a Salesian mission. Argentina finally allowed Salesian missionaries to aid the Selk'nam and attempt to assimilate them, with their traditional culture and livelihoods then completely interrupted.